Grove Unleashed.
Hey, welcome to another edition of Grove Unleashed, and this is dedicated to Jake Taylor, and he knows why. Joining us is Anders from the district office. Anders, how are you?
What's going on? Not too bad. And yourself?
It's another day. It's another day in Harrisburg. Rain, sun, rain, sun.
Yeah, weather. I wish the weather would make up its mind. That's all I want. One or the other.
It's no different for my wife.
Yeah.
Charlie.
Pour one out for Jake Taylor, everybody.
Right. Pour one out.
Good to be with you again, sir.
Good to be here.
Yeah. What's going on?
So last week, session ends. We think we're done, but we're not. You get called to a rules committee meeting that was not sunshined, was just sprung upon you, and it is to push a resolution to deal with one specific member, Kevin Boyle, representative from Philadelphia, who had a warrant for his arrest issued right before the election. That warrant was then rescinded a day before the election because the PFA that he had issued against him was expunged from his record. He then loses election, but he is still voting. He voted the day on the floor that he had a warrant out for his arrest. He's voted since he's lost his primary election. No one knows where he is. No one has really been in contact with him other than one reporter. And we're fairly certain there's some unsavory political games going on in Philadelphia, which you spoke about last week in session as well. So the Kevin Boyle saga got a little bit more complicated last Wednesday. Can you fill us in on what happened?
Yeah, so I'm literally back in the office. I take my tie off, and then Janelle, our executive director, says we have a rules meeting. I said, no, we're done. We're done for the day. And she's like, no, we got a rules meeting. So we go down, and we heard this was coming. In response to the Kevin Boyle voting with a warrant for his arrest, Democrat leader came up with this new rule to create a new committee of 5 people, 3 Democrats, 2 Republicans, to basically determine the whether a member is incapacitated and can't serve anymore. I call it the Inquisition Committee, and only Republicans can only turn in their own members, Democrats can only turn in their own members, so Democrats can't say all the Republicans are incapacitated, we're ousting them all, right? But the scary part is you're a constitutional officer, you're duly elected, and it gives them the ability to do everything from expulsion to leave without pay. So we're not going to pay you anymore, which is trying to force them out. We're not paying you anymore. You're done. Good luck paying your bills. Have a nice life, right? The power of that, because they're looking at it for this one member, Representative Kevin Boyle. But it's a tremendous tool for leadership to twist arms. If you're holding fast because you don't like what your leadership is doing, a bill on the floor, and you're like, no, I'm against this, and they came up, and it's happened multiple times on the floor, and they're like, we need you to be a yes. Because remember, they're at 102. They lose one vote. They can't do anything unless they pick up some Republican votes here or there. So they can come up and say, Representative Anders, you need to be a yes. And you're like, my constituents are against this. I don't like it. I'm not doing it. All right. I'm gonna put you in this committee. And we're gonna suspend you without pay. How long can you survive without getting paid?
And I think it's a big deal too with the bills that have been going through. And like you said, it's been going Democrats going against leadership has been happening a lot. Most recently with these gun bills that have been put through. You had Representative Burns, who's from a very red district, who's a Democrat, go against leadership on these gun bills. And the bills ended up failing because of it. So, this committee could have consequences that could, in turn, restrict your gun rights and things large like that.
Now, you had said elections have consequences. Elections absolutely have consequences. I just never thought that the consequences of an election would determine the type of toilet that I can buy. But apparently that is now the case.
So, yeah, we did a video on the House Democrats, Representative Schusterman. She's a very nice lady. I do like her. She's from the Southeast, like Montgomery County. She did this resolution. I think she tried to do a bill at one point to ban gas-powered lawnmowers and weed whackers and all that kind of stuff. And I thought, what could be crazier than that? So we did a whole video kind of mocking that because it is stupid. Government should not be determining what kind of appliance I should buy. So instead of that, they run this bill. And, I'm married. I hear it from my wife all the time. Like, if you go to a hotel and the shower has, like, the really bad flow.
Water pressure. Yeah.
Water pressure. It's awful, right? Mm-hmm. Toilet, the whole 9 yards. Like, dishwashers today really don't clean stuff that well because they're not allowed to use a lot of water and stuff. It's
got to run it twice sometimes.
Right. It's that efficiency stuff that so the Democrats want to ban, quote, more non-efficient appliances. I already think they're not efficient to begin with because they don't do their basic jobs. But
kind of like state government.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. But they want to ban all this stuff and have low flow everything. Mm-hmm. And the reason, the prime sponsor said, because of climate change. Now, what's really interesting is they have, I think they have a camera on Plymouth Rock, right? Plymouth Rock. What was that date? Still at sea level. Plymouth Rock is still at sea level. Now, I was promised by Al Gore. I was promised by Greta, whatever her name is, Thunberg. I was promised by all these environmentalists that fly around on private jets that in 5 years, and that was like probably 15 years ago, that climate change would happen, the polar ice caps would melt, and we'd probably have beachfront property in York County. Like Jersey probably would be gone.
Wouldn't have winter anymore.
Right? Yeah, no more winter.
I have been maxing out my credit cards every 5 years because I've been promised that the world's going to end, and nothing happens.
Nothing happens. But all these magic storms are happening and this and that. Like, it's Mother Nature. Like,
well, and illegal immigration's happening because of climate change now too. I don't know if you are aware of that too.
Are you serious?
Yeah, apparently, according to AOC, I believe is the one that said it, right, that illegal immigration is occurring because of climate change.
Yeah, it's not temperate where folks live anymore, so they want to come to the United States because it's more temperate.
Wow. That's all kinds of special. Yeah. So the Democrats are doing these bans. They want to control every aspect of your life. So, I mean, this is dishwashers. This is refrigerators. This is
toilets.
Shower heads. Toilets.
Showers.
So
your spigot for your hose.
Right. So Democrats want to be where you poop, where you shower. Like this is
cook your food, your oven.
Your food, right. All across the board.
If you want to buy these products that are very efficient and things like that, I have no problem with that. None whatsoever. But for some people who need heftier pipes, we'll say, for their toilets, you're going to force them into buying these products.
I got two growing boys.
Yeah, it's not.
Sometimes you need some mighty toilets.
Those GE efficient toilets aren't going to do the job for some people.
Well, I can tell you, I have a toilet in my basement. And you have to have a specialized toilet for your basement.
Oh, yeah, because of the upflow.
Right. Am I going to be able to buy that? Do I need to get a special permit to buy that? What's the deal? So I mean, talk about a nanny state, right?
Yeah, I mean, and that's what we see out of House Democrat policies these days. They want to control every aspect of your life, every single aspect, and nothing gets more personal than that toilet. That is between you and that toilet. Whatever happens there, the House Democrats shouldn't be there. No. Checking your water supply to check your flow, see how much water is going down that drain.
Grove Unleashed.